Hi friends, this is Kristen from the Pros and Cons team, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about the pros and cons of renting an apartment. So we all know with the crazy current market that sometimes we get stuck in apartments longer than we have intended. But it has made me actually stop and think and be like, okay, what are the pros and cons of living in an apartment? So to start with some of the pros, when it breaks, if it's not your fault, you don't have to pay to fix it. Um, which is amazing. Like our sink was awful, our kitchen sink, and it started leaking, and we didn't have to pay for the plumber to come and get it all fixed. It was taken care of, which is really nice. Another thing is, like, under most circumstances, you don't have to mow the lawn. So you don't need to own a mower or a weed eater or whatever you would typically need if you were owning a house, and that's taken care of for you. Or sometimes in certain apartments, snow removal will be taken care of. So that's a great pro. Another thing is it is way easier to leave on trips when you're in an apartment. Especially if you're in an apartment that doesn't allow animals and you don't have animals, so you don't have to find somebody to take care of your animals, you don't have to find somebody to take care of the yard, you don't have to make sure that maybe somebody's picking up the mail if it's a super long trip or whatever. And so there's a lot less of that. Like, you're free to just go. And sometimes I feel like when there is a lot of property or a large house, then you kind of feel like, oh, well, I have to get this done and this done and this done and this done and this done before I go on a vacation or before I leave. So it's really nice with an apartment. I feel like there's a lot more freedom that way. Also, an apartment typically is smaller than what a house would be, and I think the less space you have, the less stuff you can have, and that means less cleaning and less organizing, and it is really nice to be able to clean really fast because you have less space to clean. Okay, moving on to some of the cons. Sometimes landlords do not like to fix things, and so you can always have that problem where you're waiting to have something fixed for a long time because they don't want to fix it. Another thing is that rent can go up. I think a lot of people that have been renting have seen that happen in the last couple of years, where rent just is skyrocketing, and therefore it's kind of starting to become maybe more like a mortgage for some people. I know that we had family members that were paying probably the equivalent of what a mortgage would be to rent a 2-bedroom apartment. And so that can be really hard if you're renting, to have that sudden shift in how much you are required to pay to continue to live in that apartment. So that is another con. Another thing is I feel like there's a lot less freedom. So if you want to paint a wall bright pink, you usually can't just paint a wall bright pink. If you want to change the carpet, or if you just don't like how something is set up, you don't have the freedom just to remodel your apartment. Like, that is something that you probably will not have. So that can be really, really frustrating if you want a different color, or if you don't like something how it is, or if you want to hang more pictures than are allowed, or whatever. You really are restricted in some ways. So these are some of the pros and cons that I've thought of. If there are additional pros and cons that you would like to add, please leave them in the comments below, and you can check out more pros and cons linked in the description below. I hope you have a great day. Bye.